It's P. That the General, too new of the podcast. You keep your body clean, nah? Yeah.
Being really comfortable with all of that thing. You know what you're trying to say? Do what you do, baby. Yeah, I want congratulations. I seen to come up through the mud. You feel me?
Real.
Yeah. I'm saying, like I said, I used to be top. I'm one of the ones. When that nigga said he had a phone, his whole juice, man, I'm looking at the screen like preach. Cause I was on the phone with him. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that he getting up there and he keeping it all the way funky. He ain't what them little niggas be saying. He ain't cloud chase. He ain't capping. He ain't doing none of that. Like, he ain't trying to make himself look. You know, he letting his legacy speak. I like that shit. Like, let your legacy.
You know the evening, everybody. 504. So y'all know how it goes, you heard me? We here, it's Smack Dab, Womensweek X, right in the middle of it, you heard me? My next guest, it's her story, so I'm gonna let her tell it without no further ado. You heard me?
What's up, everybody? My name is Royalty, and I am a singer-songwriter and a comedian as well.
By the way, I'm gonna tell you right.
Yeah, right.
That's what's up. So tell us your accounts of growing up way up there in Ohio, you heard me?
You
But
said
y'all way up in the sky, you heard me?
oh well, man. It's really, it's really an old country type. I mean, not like
Now,
country, but
before you start, I'm gonna keep it real and honest, and I don't mean no disrespect. I didn't even know black people stayed in Ohio.
yeah,
You know what I'm
it
saying?
is one of
So
them type of places, man. It's a Trump type state,
yeah, industry
real.
type.
Yeah, real farm like, I lived in the
Thing.
city. So
So how was your upbringing in your childhood in the city like that, you heard me?
I mean for me, my childhood, I didn't really it was more like family, inner family type that was made it rough. But
Mm.
I mean, like as far as like being out in the streets or anything like that, I was never really a type to be out in the streets gang banging or, but like it's just like any other city, you got your ups, your downs, your crime, It's other parts that from where my particular city came that was a little more crazier than where I was from. But it's gotten worse. It has gotten worse, over the past few years. So yeah.
So, and, all right, let me say this, right? When you down here, we got gumbo. You know what I'm saying? We got king cake, red bean, jambalaya, signature dish, right? If I'm going to Ohio, right, what is y'all signature dish, you hear me?
The signature dish. I don't think there is no signature dish in Ohio, not that I know of.
I'm right as the down. So, uh, Ohio, you don't really hear any artists, male or female, coming out of Ohio, right? So how did you get into the music? You heard? Wait, what came first, the comedy or the music?
Comedy.
Okay, so how does one from Ohio get into comedy?
Well, actually, I gotta go further back because I started in a podcast. So it was me, my now husband, and my brother-in-law, and we would
Shout out
come
to
on.
Hubby.
Excuse me.
Shout out to Hubby.
Thank you. And we would do a podcast live on Facebook, and we would air it out to all streaming platforms, on Sundays, and we would just talk about various topics that were going on from our perspective, and that kind of helped me to get out my comfort zone. So from there, my brother-in-law and then my husband started doing stand-up comedy, and it's something that I wanted to do, but I didn't have the nerve to do it. But I went and watched them and enjoyed the show, and they were really good. And
Well,
I'm like,
I
well,
gotta stop you right there. It's a lesson, right? You said you didn't have the will, or I guess the courage, correct?
correct.
For all the young ladies who's thinking about either getting into entertainment or just hopped into entertainment, right? How did
Uh-huh.
you build up that courage to finally go on?
Well, I had to just get out my own way and realize that it was bigger than me. Like it wasn't just about me and my feelings and I'm scared to do it. I wanted my kids to go for their dreams, but how they gonna go for their dreams when they mama ain't even, you know,
Yeah,
trying.
standing on business.
Yeah, and also I had saw firsthand what regret did to somebody. They wanted to go for their dreams and they didn't go for their dreams. And I saw how the regret, turned them and made them act and, you know, how they dwelled in that regret that they didn't go for their dreams.
What did you learn from that situation?
That once I get out my own way and get out my own head, I
No, no,
can
no,
do
no,
it.
not that. What I'm saying, you say your little partner, uh, he had some regrets, or she had some regrets on not chasing her dream, right? What
Uh-huh.
did you learn from that experience that made you be like, you know what? It's time to stand on business like some steel toe boots, you hear me?
The fact that they passed away before that before they can build up the courage or go for their goal, they passed away. And they passed away, lonely because they were just so bitter. So I didn't want to be like that. And to me, I'd rather fail trying, but there is no failing than to not. I was more scared not to do it and then to end up like them. So the fear of not doing it and ending up like them was like, okay, I got to get up, go.
Hold it. We're gonna hold a moment of silence for your people right quick, you hear me?
Uh huh.
So was entertainment always in the plan? Because you in three different genres of entertainment. Was entertainment always in the plan, or did it just kind of come when you met hubby and brother-in-law? You heard me?
No, not. It came before that, but when I was younger, I didn't really, think about. I didn't really think about being an entertainer. It wasn't until I really felt I really wanted to be a musician, and I really saw how when I would just be telling a story, people would get to laughing, and they would be really, entertained by me and say, "Oh, you're so funny, you're so funny." So I thought, like, if I can make people laugh by just telling, a story, and I'd be dead serious, then, you know, I can do stand up comedy. So I thought about it, but I just, like I said, I didn't have the courage until, you know,
Hubby
when
and
I had the
brother-in-law.
courage.
It's all good. So being a comedian, right? Did you look up to any comedians or were inspired by any comedians before you started doing your thing? You know what I'm saying? Or you just was like an all around been a funny person? You heard me?
No, I really liked Martin. Growing up, he was one of
Will,
my
let me.
favorite
I gotta
comedians.
ask this, right? Martin or Will?
Oh man, that's easy for me. Would be Martin.
These two. These two. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, my bad.
No, you good. Eddie Murphy. Then I remember growing up. One of my favorite shows was In Living Color.
You can do what you
Uh
want
huh.
to do.
And when I
Yeah.
seen Jim Carrey on that, that's when I really was like, okay, I won't. That's that. I could be that funny too.
He is funny, you heard me? So in the world full of negativity, like going on, uh, a lot of people mad at with the president rule, right? How important is it to you in times like this to put and keep a smile on your face, Jer?
I think it's very important, because that I feel like that's my way of leveling out the negativity. That's my way of putting my sprinkle of positive in there, is making people laugh and make people just forget for a minute, you know, what they're going through. And that's what comedy is about for me, is making people laugh, bringing a smile to people's face.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you hit the game, right, did you hit the ground running, or did you have to kind of like catch your stride? You know what I'm saying, and find your way in the comedy world. You heard me, or you was just a natural the first time you hit the stage.
Yeah, the first time I hit the stage, I really like shocked myself. I didn't really, I wasn't, I didn't really know that I had that in me until I went on stage and I was rocking it and people was laughing and people was interacting and all that. So I was like, oh shit, I can do this for real, for real. I got it.
Facts, absolutely. So boom, you in the game, you caught your stride, making people laugh and sing. What came next? The music.
Yeah.
All right, how did the music come about? And as I asked you with the comedians, right? Did you have
Mhm.
any artists that you either looked up to or inspired you before you put the pen to the paper? You heard me? Or you were just like, look, I could do comedy, I could do comedy. So look, I'm about to try the music. You heard me? How that went?
Well, to be honest with you, I actually did the comedy to open myself up to do music because I was scared, not scared, but I was nervous and was like, oh man, I didn't have that self-esteem, so I'm like, I feel like you have to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable with uncomfortability in order to grow. So once I did that, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a song and I started looking for producers. And then that's when I met, Poe. Shout out to Big Buff Records because, they've been down. I've been down. We just been down with each other since we met. And I told him what I wanted. I told him what I wanted. And from there, you know, I just wrote my first song and recorded it and released it. And I've been going from there.
And it's all great. We can see I'm saying so. Now you're the comedian. Now you're the artist, right? Um,
Mhm.
when you finally did what you wanted to do or was trying to do, when you did it, right? When you finally accomplished that, right? What changed about you?
I got more confident. And I really believe, like for real, I could do anything. I kind of felt like superhero type. I could really do it. You know,
Empowered.
Like, and I felt like, I want to keep going. You don't need to stop from here. Let's keep going and seeing what I can do.
Facts, facts. As I mentioned before, right? You don't really hear of any many artists or many comedians as well coming from Ohio. So I guess the market out there is kind of small, correct? If do you think that hurts you because it's a small market? Nobody's really like, you know, looking for new artists or new comedians out of Ohio. But do you think that gives you an advantage with the game bust wide open?
Um, I kind of feel like, in a way, it was a disadvantage. Disadvantage. I can see advantages and disadvantages. You know, I wanted more, but I didn't have the resources there. You know, uh, I wanted to be, I wanted to do more shows, go out more, further. And it kind of was harder in my particular area to do so. So I had to make my own way. I had to make my own path.
Facts, facts. Is it difficult being an upcoming comedian and an upcoming female artist?
I feel like in my experience is it's harder to be an upcoming artist
Mm,
than not a comedian.
mm.
I had no problems, you know. It felt a lot easier to find stages to go on, to find people, you know, to bounce off of than in when I got into the music game. It was harder for me to find a producer. That was one of the problems that I had. And it wasn't that they were bad producers. No, they were really excellent in their genre of music, but
You
they
you you
just
you 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 keep saying producer, right? And my producer in here, so I gotta shout him out, put it G. You see what I'm saying? Super producer. Shout out your producer. Shout out your label. You see what I'm saying? I just had to. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're a
no,
bit.
you
Go
good,
ahead.
you good, you good.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
But no, it wasn't that they were bad producers because they were really good, but they weren't able to give me exactly what I was looking for, you know.
What
So
exactly were you looking for?
well, it was a lot of hip hop producers, and there was a lot of rock producers, and then sometimes they really didn't know how to, and they would say they didn't know how to produce R&B, so you know, so they were good in in their genre, but they just didn't know they would try, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, so I just started learning on my own how to do it. So from there, I just started making my own beats, producing, mixing, and mastering my own beats.
All fake new copies. All right, so we got a comment in the comment section. Shout out to the comments. You heard me, Darwin. Well, look, if I put respect on everybody's name, D. But if I butcher your name, blame the New Orleans public school system. It ain't me. It's my environment, my nigga. You see what I'm saying? But Darwin Nicholas Gardner King Poe, you heard me? He said Ohio artists don't support each other unless it's beneficial to them. What's up, cuz? I see you. My bad. My people, they in here. I see y'all. I see y'all. Yes, Stevie. What's up, cuz? You heard me? So, do you agree with what Darwin said? You heard me?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely that's Poe from Big Buff Records. Shout out to Big Buff Records. I got with him
Shout
and
out
he
from New
been
Orleans, homie.
I got out with him and he been supporting me, ever since we hooked up. So, but yeah, I definitely agree with him. Like Ohio artists don't support each other. We'll go to shows and see each other and act like you don't even know each other, don't really speak, don't want to work with each other, and all that. So I'm like I said, I just do my own thing. I learned how to do my own thing, and I'm still learning. And yeah,
Thanks, thanks. So, in that type of environment, right? How do you in the type of environment like that? Seems like it's no support. Seems like it's every band for themselves, right? It's Women's Week, so we gonna give it to y'all, right? In your opinion, how can female artists and female comedians in the Ohio area better uplift, support each other? You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it is ego.
Mm,
You got to get out your ego. It's enough out here for everybody, and I think that's a lot. In my perspective, that's a lot of what it is ego. People worried about somebody outshining them. People worried about, oh, they gonna come up. Everybody gonna have a come up. Everybody gonna shine sometime. If you in the game and you putting your strides down and doing what you gotta do, you gonna, eventually shine. So why hate on everybody? Why we just can't why we can shine more working together.
facts. So with your comedy and with your music, right? What is the motivation for your material? Did you just freestyle? You see what I'm saying? Does it come from real life experience? You know what I'm saying? You be joking with the crowd. What is your motivation for your material come from, Jeremy?
It come from a little bit of both real life experiences, both in music and comedy. Also, just me just thinking about something, or I'll say a word, or I'll see something on TV, or I'll just come up with a song, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of both.
So I asked you, how does it feel, you know, in times like this, you're making people laugh. What does the music and the comedy do for you? Yourself, you're saying, I interview a lot of artists. Some people say it's a type of therapy. Some people say it's like a voice, you know what I'm saying, a way to get your point across, you heard me? But coming from your account, you heard me? What does making music and doing comedy do?
Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's definitely therapeutic for me, you know. And also, I feel that it's my way of giving back to the world, because I know something that I'm saying is gonna get to somebody, and they're gonna feel me, and it's gonna help them get through what they going through. They I have people call me when they need to laugh. They might be going through something. They literally be like, Lisa, say something to make me laugh. you know. So, and that made me feel good, made me feel, like I'm giving back, because it ain't always about money. Sometimes you can't give back with money, or sometimes they don't want financial, So yeah.
Thanks. So, what do you? A lot of people do it for the love. A lot of people do it for the clout. A lot of people do it to be the best comedian or the best female artist, right? What are
Mhm.
you ultimately? What are you trying to get out? Sure, man.
I do it for the love. Like, I've noticed that it's my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
It's my comfort zone. So that's why I do. I don't feel right when I don't do it, and I notice the difference in my energy, in the way I feel when I was before I got into this
Come
and
on.
wanted to, until now that I'm in it. So yeah, that's why I do it.
Thanks. You stop, right, David? You stop.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, just my daughter. I'm sorry. She was. I had took her charge. She came, got her charger back. You
Mhm.
still stay, David. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Um, your style of music, and your style of comedian. Do you have a certain style, like in your music? You say you're a hip hop artist, a conscious rap artist, you are, gangster artist. If you could, you put a definition on both comedian style and your music part.
Well, it's hard. I really don't have a label on it, because I feel like I'm still developing my music style. I'm still figuring out what works best for me, you know. But I feel that what worked best for me would maybe, just basically soulful, neo soul, that type of groove. I really like the early '90s vibe. So I feel like that's more my vibe. As a musician, as a singer, as a comedian, I don't really know. I never really thought about it. Cause I kind of just I do what feels right. Like, I'll just tell a story. Sometimes I just go up there and just freestyle, you know, and sometimes I'm a little more animated in the story. Sometimes, I'm not. So I just do what feels right.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? So, how important is it to you to be original, to stay you? You see what I'm saying? And not change in an industry that kind of demand a certain type of uh I want to say look. You see what I'm saying? How do you do that? How important is that to you to stay you?
I think that is number one, is utterly important, because if I how am I going to attract the things that is for me if I'm not being who I am? So I have to be who I am. I need to attract what I need is for me. And I'm sure in myself and who I am. So I don't need anybody to tell me who to be, what to wear, what not to wear, and all that craziness.
Out that shit, you hear me? Talk that shit. You see what I'm saying? So, music, you hear me? Rap thing, rap band thing, you see what I'm saying? You a female artist, but exactly what type of artist are you?
I'm not. I'm a R&B artist. I'm just a singer,
But yeah,
because I want to try. I want to try and go into different types of genres. I feel like once I master my voice and master that part of it, I'll be able to sing any type of genre.
facts. So, been in the podcast, you see what I'm saying? Been in the comedy, you heard me? Been in the music, you heard me? Are there any other genres of entertainment that you're interested in, you heard me, such as acting, modeling, clothing, anything like that? Or you just gonna stick with these three, you heard me?
No, I want to do all that. I've done a couple movies, little 2B movies, you
Okay,
know.
okay.
So I'm in it. I want to do that, and I want to
Nah,
eventually get
Tubi done step
into.
their game up. Now, ain't no little Tubi, you heard me? Tubi done step their game up, you
They
heard me?
did, they did, they did. They did.
Right, right, right. You know what I'm saying?
But
So, go ahead, my bad.
no, you good. I was just saying, like, yeah, I want to get into all that clothing. I have my own jacket that I design, so I do clothing. I do all that. I'm a creator, so I create.
Facts. I like that. You see what I'm saying? So, what you doing in comedy, what you doing the music, and what you doing, everything that you do, you heard me? Still got to react. Saying you still got to fight. Does it ever bump heads? You see what I'm saying? Does the entertainment world, you heard me, ever bump head with the reality? You see what I'm saying? Or does it kind of coincide?
Um, Really, sometimes it do. Like when you work in a real job, but you got a show or you had a show and it was a late show, but you got to get up and go to work. So in that way, for me, that's really the only way. Because I find you have to make time for your craft. So I have to make time for my craft. So that's exactly what I do. I make time.
Mm. Where you see yourself entertainment wise in the next 5 years, you heard me?
I definitely see myself out there eating, getting that paper, you know, living my best life, doing all my goals in the entertainment world and just all around.
So you speak of the love, right? You speak of your mindfulness of it, right? What are some of the kinds of the entertainment? You hear me?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What is some? I mean, you speak of your love. You speak of overcoming being nervous and all that. Like it's all positive, right? Take us through some of the kinds of like some of the negative. I'm just trying to be using different words. So my bad, you hear me? But uh, take us through some of the negative, uh, areas of the entertainment world, if any.
Well, when you meet certain people that have certain, they feel they know it all or not know it all. When you just meet certain people that don't have that good, energy, or that's just rigid, you know. I met a couple producers, that weren't very positive, were crazy, I had to cut myself from them, like y'all doing too much, that's not how
Yeah,
I want to
right.
represent myself. You don't represent yourself in a positive light, so you can't represent me the way I want to be represented.
Mm.
Um, and just the fact that people don't want to work together, And that way, you know, that's a really negative, a hard thing to do because I'll be seeing artists that when I go to the show, I see them and I be wanting to work with them, but they be acting like, you know, they big time already, you know. So in that type of way, you know, that's a negative thing, you know, but I don't let that get to me. I don't let that be my experience, you know.
I feel that. Feel that too. As a female in the game, right? In the male dominated area, do you feel as though female artists or comedians get taken seriously? Feel as though harder for y'all because y'all females, you see what I'm saying? Do you feel like you gotta go so hard, that you chip on your shoulder, or you came in the game with other bro law, so nigga better not play with you. That.
I feel for me personally, like I think it's just hard in the industry, period, you know, because everybody out there trying to do what they trying to do. So I think that yeah, it's hard out there in the industry, just period. Definitely, you know, in a sexist type of way in the industry, you know, you have to deal with those types of things. But that's just life, you know. For me, it's just
Mm,
life for women sometimes, you know. So yeah, it can be, but I ain't gonna let that deter me. Keep it pushing.
thanks. You do a lot of entertainment. You do a lot of, like you see that, huh? You see
Yeah.
that? Hey, see, I can understand 5 words a sentence. Just say, you do life be life, and you do a lot of entertainment, right? How do you wind down?
How do I wind down?
Mhm.
Um, I can't wait to get home, you know, do my thing, get my little medicine going on, you know, little herbal medicine, you know, and
Yes,
just
man.
right.
Yes,
I see you. I see you.
I got a prescription. You hear me? We
I
go
see
to a
you.
similar
Right.
doctor. You understand me?
Okay. You know, and
Different doctor, same hospital.
right. And I just watch. Sometimes I might watch a little bit of TV, you know, but sometimes I just need to go in the room and just write.
Mm.
You know, I like to sit with the lights, little lights. You know, those colorful light strips. You know, get some candles going on, get my
Set the tone.
chillax
You set
going.
the tone. You set the tone. I was just about to ask you that. You see what I'm saying? I don't like the word rich, right? But is it a certain type of mood or certain type of tone that you gotta set when you either recording your music, comedy, or writing your music or comedy? You hear me? Like, take us
Y-
through your writing process. You hear me?
Like for writing, definitely. You know, I gotta be. If I feel like my house gotta be in order, the house gotta be clean. My space gotta be clean, physically clean. You know, and I gotta be able to sit there and don't be bothered in my space. You know, I got to do what I got to do before I do it, or that's going to be on my mind. Me doing that is going to be on my mind.
Mm.
So, you know, once I do that, then I'll be able to sit down and write. You know, sometimes as I'm cleaning or doing something, I'll get the lyrics in my head. So I have to stop what I'm doing and write it down or get my phone and record it, you know, and then go back to doing what I'm doing. But as far as comedy, like I haven't really been on the comedy stage, excuse me, in a minute. I've been more so doing skits, you know. So as
Why is
far as
that?
well, I kind of just got so into the music, you know. I was enjoying that ride, you know. So and I just haven't really been on it, you know. I've been thinking about getting back on the comedy stage, but as of right now, I just been working on skits and everything. But all I gotta do is just tell me what is the skit, what's your idea, what's the situation, what's the attitude, what's the tone. Okay, let's go at it. And I just jump into it, you know. And that way it'd be easy for me to get right into character.
It's like that. You're so. let's set the entertainment aside. It's Women's Week 10. There's a lot of niggas in the comments, right? Talk to us as a woman, right? They're hard out here for a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Especially a black girl. I don't know how it is in Ohio with like racism, like you said, sexism, you know, female support for each other. Let us know how life is at this time for a black woman. You know what I mean?
It's I think it's hard out here for a black woman, just all around generally. Being a black woman is hard. Got these stereotypes you feel like you gotta fit into. The world makes you feel like if you don't fit into these stereotypes, then you're not good enough. You know, everybody confused, feel like they don't know which way to go. Everybody hurting, everybody's going through, you got to heal yourself. You got to heal that inner child. You got to do that. You got to do that shadow work. Sometimes it's definitely easier said than done, but it's definitely worth doing, and women need to heal themselves before they move on to the next
What
relationship. I
let's
think,
let's 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 get there. When you say healing, right? What exactly is healing? And if you can explain it, how do you heal?
well, healing is just forgiving yourself for what you feel you need to forgive yourself for those mistakes that you made.
Start with self, right?
You got to hold yourself accountable for what you need to hold yourself accountable for. You got to figure out who you are, figure out what you will and won't accept, why you accept these things. You know, accountability is a big one. Once you start self accountability, once you start looking at yourself and saying, could I have done this better? Did I do everything that I could have done in this situation? A lot of that can help.
Thanks, thanks. Um, you being married, you know what I'm saying? I knew you being in the entertainment world. You see in social media and stuff. um, it looks like the black man, black woman is right? With you being married, right? What do you have to say to all the men and the women that is doing? It's not no good men out here, not no good women out here. Black love is dead. Marriage isn't the goal anymore.
I think that that's not the case. I think that sometimes the negativity could just be, or can be loud, but not really be as much as it said. I know every situation is different, but my situation, I wouldn't be where I'd be at if it wasn't a good situation. So, black love, we got that. Positivity, we got that. We got all that. So it's still out there. And once you start loving yourself and building yourself up, what's for you just come to you.
Facts, facts. So let's get back to the. That was real. That was real. Now I hope they listen. And me, it start with self. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming each other. These niggas worse than man. But I'm gonna do a little recap of Women's Week. Get on these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But so what's next for you?
Um, well, I just moved down to Georgia, so
Oh yeah, right. Oh, you in that dirty, dirty?
yeah, I'm in
What
dirty,
what was the
dirty.
reason for the move? You know what I mean?
You said what made me move?
Mm-hmm. And a
Uh,
dirty, dirty. Huh? Right? Okay. All right,
well,
cousin.
in Ohio, that like I said, it just wasn't anything there that was for me there anymore. Nothing. I had outgrew everything, my environment. So I had a show in Georgia maybe like 3 years back or whatever. And when I had that show, I had such a positive experience. I'm like, okay, I already was in the process of wanting to move out of Ohio, but I
Mm.
was, doing my research, seeing what was best for me, best for my family and everything. And boom, here I am in Georgia. And now that I'm here in Georgia, I'm getting settled. I'm finding resources that I need to better my career, you know, and just keep working on music.
It's a big culture thing. I'm saying food, what they call this shit, I slang. What's the word for slang? The different way people talk. But you know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say. Yeah, it's a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? You in the South, man. You ain't in the dirty South. You ain't in
yeah,
the South like me, but you down here now. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Is it easy making that transformation from up north to down south? Because the weather, you know what I'm saying, is the weather different, everything. So has it been easy transitioning from up there? And let us know with some, because I know the food better. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got to
Yeah.
ask you that. Let us know some of the differences that you've noticed from being in the south, from coming up way up there in the sky.
Definitely the weather obviously is definitely different. But what's wild is that once we got down here, we just had a daggone snowstorm or Georgia's version of a snowstorm
Oh,
because
all right. So y'all brought that snow down here. Oh, okay, okay. Y'all brought the
my
snow
bad,
down.
y'all, my
Okay,
bad, we
yeah, okay.
did, my
That's what
bad.
it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was looking like. Like, damn, did we do that? But the weather, um, definitely, definitely a lot more black folk down here.
You understand me?
Definitely a lot of black culture down here, and I'm loving it. And I've been able to find more resources, easier to find resources that I need for my growth in music, and comedy. So yeah, definitely that's different.
Like that. Take us through some of the lessons that you've learned since you joined the entertainment world.
To educate myself, to do my research and educate myself. Learn, learn, learn. Be a sponge and learn, listen and learn.
North Snot. I'm in North. Where you? Where's North Snot at? If I'm saying it right. If I'm not saying it right, you hear me? New Orleans is my environment, though. New Orleans public school ain't shit, bro. It's not shit. But uh, folks say I'm in North Snot, Spruce to my nose. What?
He in the Hall of Fame city, the football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
I,
Cleveland, Ohio is at 45 minutes from Cleveland, Ohio.
where Bone Thugs from?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I ain't never been. You hear me? But I knew where that on the map. You hear me? Shout out to y'all. You hear me?
yeah, it's not that far from where LeBron James came from. So
Mm,
we up
thanks,
in that area.
thanks. You hear me? So before we get out of here, you hear me? Could you take time to talk to the ladies, the young ladies, about the importance of self respect, self love, lifting each other up, supporting each other, and you know, just the importance of being a woman. Do that right quick.
I feel that, ladies, you gotta learn to love yourself and be who you are. Self love is number one. Once you have that self love, everything else just fall into play. Play. You gotta learn to love your flaws. Don't let this world beat you down. It can beat you down, but the more love you give, pour into yourself, the further you go, and it just come natural. Like you just want to love yourself more. So yeah, definitely love yourself. Love, love, love.
And before we get out of here, you heard me, leave them all your connects, all your social medias, where they can get in contact with you, where they can find your content, you see what I'm saying, where they can get in touch with you, you heard me. And shout out the shout outers, you heard me.
So on TikTok, I am the Royal Melanin on TikTok.
Hold up, they about to ban that. I don't know why you I don't know why
You right.
that's gone
You
in a
right.
couple of days.
You right, there is. On Instagram though, I am the underscore Queen Royalty on Instagram. And then on Facebook, I'm Lisa Williams. And then my YouTube, I'm just Royalty on my YouTube.
And y'all already know what it is, you heard me. Great interview, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the comments. Thank y'all for tuning in, you heard me. Shout out to Royalty. Shout out to Ohio. I knew it's cool as the fuck out there. That's all y'all body, you heard me. It's a whole other climate down here, you heard me. But shout out to y'all, man. It was a great interview, you heard me. And y'all already know what it is. Shout out to all the women, man. It's Womensweek X. It's Be Done Not the General. You know that a podcast keep your body clean, huh? And as a woman, you better keep your body clean, huh? Yeah. It's P Done Not the General. To know that a podcast, you keep your body clean, huh? Yeah.
Being really comfortable with all of that attention. You know what you're trying to say?
Do what you do, baby.
Yeah, I want congrats. I seen to come up through the mud. You feel me?
Real
Yeah. I'm saying, like I said, I used to be top. I'm one of the ones. When that nigga said he had a phone, his whole joke, man, I'm looking at the screen like preach. Cause I was on the phone with him. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that you getting up there and keeping it all the way funky. He ain't what them little niggas be saying. He ain't cloud chase. He ain't capping. He ain't doing none of that. Like, he ain't trying to make himself look. You know, he letting his legacy speak. I like that shit. Like, let your legacy.